Devendra, Chaubal.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Toastmaster Devendra, final destination. Final destination, Toastmaster Devendra.
Thank you. Imagine everyone here becomes wanderlust and planned an exotic vacation in Thailand. You did all your shopping, completed your checklist, and you board a flight. As you reach your destination, as you are reaching your destination, your enthusiasm is on the high. You landed in Thailand. As you reach your destination and your resort, you realize that the resort which you have booked is not exactly the same as shown on the website. And to make it worse, the private villa with a pool is surrounded by a construction activity. So it's going to be a noisy and your view is going to get obstructed. You decided to let go. You thought, let me take dinner now. You went for a dinner. And guess what? The 5-star cuisine you are expecting turned out to be a pot of noodles. In this scenario, I would have either decided to cancel a trip or change a resort. But some of us would still decided to continue. Dear fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, good evening. Good evening. Let me take you through one of the journey which I had. It is not an exotic vacation on a Thailand, but a survival trek. It's a survival trek in my chartered accountancy classes. Chartered accountancy is one of the most difficult course in the world with a passing percentage of approximately 5 to 6%. On the first day of class, professor entered the room, tall, dark, but scary. He wanted to gauge a general IQ of entire class. He started off with a question. Raise your hands if you have scored 90% and above in your graduation. 4 hands shot up immediately. I was surprised and astonished because I have never scored 90% in a single subject in my entire life. I was thinking, these people must be eating books for their lunch and breakfast. Professor continued, raise your hands if you have scored more than 80%. More than 75% of people raise their hands. I was getting nervous at that time and I thought probably I am at a wrong place. But I said, I will manage it. Professor continued further. Raise your hands if you scored 70% and above. And guess what? Entire classroom has raised their hands. Except 3. And I was part of 3. And to make it worse, I was already getting nervous and thinking I had came to a wrong place. And to make it worse, I had 2 friends who just managed to be in the part of that 70%. They turned towards me and started laughing as if they are telling me, welcome to the wrong destination. At that moment, I felt like cancelling my vacation and go back. So as classes progressed, it was so difficult initially for 3 months. All the concepts were so confusing. It was all going over my head. And my classmates were way ahead of me. Some of them were even cracking jokes on accounting standards and taxes. At that moment, I said, this is a trip completely gone wrong, and probably I should do more simple things in my life. For example, untangling headphone without getting frustrated. Or more simple things, assembling an IKEA furniture without a manual. But as days progress, what I noticed was I was absorbing the energy and discipline of the classes, discipline of my classmates. I started to understand the topics. I started to get motivated by their discipline and hard work, just like how beautiful landscape motivate us to explore more. Eventually, by end of 18 months, exams were over, results were out, and 33% of that batch managed to clear. Overall result in my state was 5%. I am glad that I was part of that 33%. As I reflect back on my success, it was not only about a hard work. It was about an environment which I was part of. Right environment act as a catalyst. It not only change your behavior, but it also helps you to motivate and works towards it. Right environment actually very subtly but very powerfully changes your thought process. Now this is backed by research as well. In Atomic Habits, James Clear has said that right environments are invisible hands that actually shapes human behavior, your habits, and eventually your outcome. And this has been actually seen in this very class, in this very club of Toastmasters, as well as experienced by many of the people. Wow. As we end, I want you to reflect on what shapes your experience. Is it a path you take? Is it an environment or final destination? Over to you, Toastmaster James.